fancy having a party at my age, Les. Good God, I'm getting married tomorrow. Isn't that suffering enough? They've got to give me a party and all. I wish they'd go home.
They've only been here 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Ye gods, some folks is devils for outstaying their welcomes.
I can't stand parties. I don't mind the cakes. It's the guests what get me down.
Yeah. It's that look they give you when you're the host. Accusing, aggrieved, willing you to go away so they can have a good time.
That's how your fiancée looks at you.
I've not seen this woman of yours, Mort. What's she like?
Well, how can I describe her without doing an injustice to her vaccination marks? Do you remember... You remember that year Grand National were won by that lady owner? What were her name? Dorothy Paget?
Aye, aye.
Well, facially, my fiancée is not entirely dissimilar to the horse what come in second.
Oh, you mean she looks like my wife? Nah!
Tell us something about your wife, Sid. Did you propose to her, or was she bequeathed to you?
Oh, Murphy, I think you're being very unfair. Uncle Mort's lady love isn't all that bad. If you wear dark glasses and look at her under artificial light, she can seem quite presentable.
I wish you'd stop being so enthusiastic.
Why?
It isn't seemly. Good God, I'm getting married. What I want around me is gloom, despondency, despair. Here, you know what my mates did when I announced my engagement to your late Auntie Edna?
What?
They wore black armbands and put me in Coventry for 5 months. They even refused to eat up my spare egg sandwiches for me. There's friendship for you.
My missus don't approve of friendship.
Why not?
I don't know. We've never been friends long enough for her to tell me.
I wish I could remember my fiancée's name. It were on tip of my tongue this morning when I was shampooing the dog.
Wasn't it something to do with fish?
Huh?
Mrs. Haddock?
No.
Mrs. Halibut? Mrs. Mackerel?
Macclesfield, that's it. Well done, lad. I wonder if I should ask her what her Christian name is. Well, you never know. It might come in handy sometime. On a long train journey, or if she falls in canal.
I expect you're glad I've had 5 husbands dead and buried, Mrs. Brandon.
Oh, why's that, Mrs. Nantwich?
Macclesfield. Because you'll have no cause to mither about your Mort. When his time comes, I'll give him ever such a nice funeral.
How kind. Shall you have boiled ham at the funeral tea, or are you a devotee of brawn?
I never give a funeral tea, Mrs. Brandon. I tell folks to bring their own sandwiches and bottles of drink. I don't charge very much for corkage.
Very sensible, love, but I wonder if you'd give me reasonable warning of Mort's funeral, so as I can order the polony in time from the butcher's.
Oh, let's talk about death and funerals. It's sending goosebumps running up and down my spine.
Not surprised, young lady, wearing a backless dress like that. In my day, young ladies weren't supposed to have backs. And as for fronts, to have a prominent bosom was tantamount to being forward in all the wrong places for the right reasons. Am I right, Mrs. Brandon? I am.
A knock on the door. Answer it, someone. It might be bad news. I love bad news, Mrs. Brandon. It's my biggest regret that I've never taken part in any of the world's great natural disasters.
Well, you haven't done so bad burying 5 husbands, have you, love? Oh, answer it, would you, Pat? And if it's Jehovah's Witnesses, tell them I've got an alibi.
Oh, it's you. What do you want? I've come to the party. Have you been invited?
Frequently, kid, and it's the married blokes like you or Carter what are the most persistent. Well, where are you having it then? Is it an orgy in the airing cupboard, or is it wife swapping on the allotments?
It happens to be a quiet and respectable gathering in the front parlour. This way. And mind your hips on the ornaments. This hall can be very tricky for women of your build.